Hello, and welcome back to Weston the Historian. So, I have not uploaded in a while. I'm currently working on my video on King James the First and Sixth, and yes, it's the same person. But in the meantime, I bought this book. It's technically a speech that was given by Theodore Roosevelt, but written down, so now it's like a really thin book. The Strenuous Life by Theodore Roosevelt, and I just read the whole thing in one sitting because it looked really interesting, and it's a very fascinating speech, essay, book thing, because it's, on the surface, it seems like this bizarre, like, nationalist, warmongering piece of propaganda trying to convince you that you need to, you know, go to war and all that. It seems like he's trying to convince the American people that America needs to like go to war and stuff like that. But it's a fascinating read because I feel like there's definitely a deeper meaning to it. And from what I'm reading, it seems to be like he is pretty much telling people that he thinks that, national focus should be altered so that they're not just, trying to find like material prosperity, but strength. And strength and also happiness. And his argument seems to be that strength and happiness are kind of go hand in hand. And his argument seems to be that pretty much, all, the good life, a happy life, comes through hard work. It comes through, looking at the problems in your life and just approaching them and taking them head on. And it's interesting. It just starts off. He starts off with I wish to preach not the doctrine of the ennoble ease, but the doctrine of the strenuous life, the life of toil and effort, of labor and strife, to preach the highest form of success, which comes not to the man who desires mere easy peace, but to the man who does not shrink from danger, from hardship, or from bitter toil, and who out of these wins a splendid ultimate triumph. That's how this starts off. So it's already starting off very, I don't know, it seems like that could actually be somewhat provocative to some, but it's interesting because he's pretty much just preaching about how, the good life comes through hard work, through effort, through taking your problems head on. And I think this is a good life. This is a good read for anyone who wants to improve their own life, because I actually think, he has some very valuable things to say. And of course, a lot of the things he does talk about, because this was a speech, he is specifically talking about how he wants people to, become strong and refocus their life for the betterment of the nation and so that they can fight for the nation and all that. So there's all that. And it is interesting because I'm going to try and find it, but there's somewhere in the book where he pretty much is like talking about how like shrinking away from war even is like a sign that a nation is pathetic and weak. And he talks about how if we desired nothing but peace, then, the soldiers of the Union during the Civil War, then the Civil War wouldn't have happened and the Union would have left defeated, even if, there would have been thousands of lives that would have been saved, but there also would have been, like, slavery would have lived on and the nation would be divided and all that. So he's essentially arguing, like, even the hardest decisions need to be made. And it's just a very, very interesting read. And even though, like, that's kind of like the service level, like, that's kind of him talking to try and encourage people for the betterment of the nation. But I think even if you're not as concerned about the betterment of America as a nation, it's a really good read because he also goes on, he admires people who have accomplished things. That's what he talks about throughout the speech, is he talks about people who have accomplished great things, like, Abraham Lincoln. He talks about him and his accomplishments in law and as a president, Grant's accomplishments as a general and all that. And he talks about how what we need in America is we need more historians, we need more artists, we need more scholars, we need more businessmen, we need people who are devoted to a cause greater than themselves, people who are willing to put their efforts in to better the world around them and stuff like that. And I mean, it's a really interesting read. I would suggest it. Yeah, I would say you should if you can, find a copy of The Strenuous Life by Theodore Roosevelt and go ahead and read it. But that's pretty much all I have to say for today. So my next video is going to be about King James, most likely, but I will see everyone another time. Goodbye.